But has this alleged CCP connection already spread to the Harris campaign at large? Joining us now is best-selling author and investigative journalist Seamus Bruner. Seamus, welcome back.
Yeah, hey Chanel, it's great to be with you. This is big news from James Comer. It's always good to get whistleblowers telling us what's going on the inside. And it's very encouraging to hear that even inside Alejandro Mayorkas' Homeland Security, there are agents concerned about Tim Walz's deep and abiding ties to the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, let's talk about those abiding ties. I mean, I know that you've been talking about these ties. Peter Schweitzer has been talking about these ties. He's been talking about some of the more tangible connections that Walz seems to have with CCP entities. Talk to us about what that money side looks like, what those lines actually manifest as.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we've been looking at the Chinese Communist Party's practice of elite capture for at least 6 years now. We've uncovered so much on the Bidens, I mean, with the CEFC deal, and we broke news on the Dianne Feinstein, Mitch McConnell, Elaine Chao. We have looked at everyone at the federal level, and we have exposed all of their ties to China. The shocking thing is Tim Walz, he takes the cake for having the deepest, longest lasting ties to China. It all starts, I mean, 1989, early 1990s. He's doing these student trips. He's saying that they're giving him more gifts than he could ever take home. And the shocking thing about those old trips are that the Chinese Communist Party sponsored these trips. So that is a financial relationship. Tim Walz set up a company with his wife to take hundreds of students on trips to China. On these trips, he told the American students to, quote, downplay their Americanness. So he understands what the CCP wants. He doesn't, this isn't like bringing students to China to learn about how communism is bad and look at how great we have it in America. He loves China's system. He loves the brutal authoritarian system. He's said a few bad things here and there, but not really. For example, he's never talked about the fentanyl crisis and how that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans, and it all comes from China. He doesn't talk about Xinjiang and the genocide happening in various parts of China. And so it's what the Chinese call big help with a little bad mouth. Now, fast forward to when Tim Walz becomes governor, he has all of these Chinese diplomats invited to his inauguration. He has gone on trips sponsored by groups that are very closely aligned with the CCP. In the Twin Cities, there is a secret Chinese police station. Only 7 cities in the country have been found to have these secret Chinese police stations, which is where the CCP intimidates dissidents and former Chinese, now Chinese Americans. That's hosted in Tim Walz's town, and it's hosted at an organization that is very cozy with Tim Walz. And so, yeah, of course, there are people inside the government who are aware of these ties, and it's really encouraging to see them coming forward and telling us what they know.
Not to mention, Seamus, and Dan Schneider was on the show just yesterday. He made an excellent point. If you talk to anybody who has spent any time in China, there's a marked difference between being an American in the pre-Tiananmen Square massacre and the post-Tiananmen Square massacre. And if you were in the pre-Tiananmen Square massacre times, China was a very different place. You had a lot of dissent and a lot of Americans who found friendly voices, friendly faces there. Post-Tiananmen Square, the time that Walz ends up going to China and spending time there, is a very different China, one that treats Americans in a very different light. And if you're there, it's because you basically support the CCP, not the other way around.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.